Every year, about 70,000 children are taken from their homes in China, but the Chinese government said there were less than 10,000 kidnappings. Some youngsters were sold overseas for adoption. China's adoption agencies receive $5,000 in donations from foreign parents when they adopt. Rarely do they buy children from human traffickers. The terrifying reality of children going missing in China is going to be revealed in today's video, so stay tuned for that. China's child trafficking and adoption issues are significant but unclear. The Chinese government admits the problem but does not release kidnapping or adoption figures. China forbids this topic. Because it affects tens of thousands of American and Western families who have adopted Chinese children. Americans adopted over 3,000 Chinese infants in 2012. Americans adopted over 3,000 Chinese infants in 2012. Three accounts that shed light on the reality of the disappearance of children in China. Rose Candace experienced the very worst meal of her entire life in March of 2011. While the American mother sat in a restaurant in Shaoguan, a small city in South China, her traveling companion translated what the man they were eating with had just explained. The American mother's adopted Chinese daughter Erica had been purchased and then essentially resold to her for profit. The American mother tried very hard not to throw up while her traveling companion translated what the man had said. It turned out that the papers that the Chinese orphanage had provided her, verifying the fact that her daughter had been left by the side of the road, were forgeries. The tin of dirt that the orphanage had given her so that her daughter could always keep a piece of her home with her as she grew up in the U.S. was a fraud. It contained a pile of dirt from the place where her daughter's paperwork was forged, not from the place where her daughter was born. The orphanage had given it to her so that her daughter could always keep a piece of her home with her. Candace had traveled tens of thousands of miles in an attempt to provide an answer to the question posed by her daughter Erica, "Who are my birth parents?" However, at this point, she was no closer to discovering the truth. Liu Liqin experienced the worst day of his life almost exactly 1 year prior, when he received a phone call from his wife informing him that their 2-year-old son, Liu Jingjun, had gone missing. He was working a temporary construction job. He was looking forward to his lunch break and his next opportunity to smoke a cigarette. Liu hastened back home and immediately started a frantic search for the boy, but to no avail. The man and his wife made calls to their extended family members, rushed to the police station to make a missing person complaint for their son Jingjun, and then spread out over the city neighborhood, calling the boy's name and asking everybody they passed whether they had seen anything. The police informed him that they were unable to take the case since there had not been sufficient time since the youngster had vanished for them to investigate. At some point in the late evening, Liu had the bright idea to view the footage from a surveillance camera located in a building across the street from the apartment that he shares with his family. When the video footage was played back, Liu saw without a doubt a man with his face obscured walking down the narrow alley where the Liu family lives while carrying little Jingjun in his arms. The image was captured in a sliver of the frame. Guo does not give up the search for his kid, but in the meantime, he gathers information about other children who have gone missing. This work, along with the many small acts of kindness from strangers who offered him a free meal or phone call, has helped dull the anger and pain over the course of the years. Specifically, all I ask is that the local police do not permit kids with unclear origins to be legally registered in the area, Guo says. The kidnappings would not take place without the corruption that lets them register for a hukou later. Guo Gangtang is certain that Guo Zhang is still alive and somewhere in the world, along with the recollections of his true ancestry, despite the fact that Guo Zhang has not been located. "If I keep going the way I am, I have a sense that one day he will find me," she said. "Perhaps he will read about me on the internet or watch me on television. It is possible that it will trigger a recollection or anything that doesn't make sense with the life that he is familiar with. It's not too late, even if it's not in the next couple of years or even if it's after he gets married." Thank you for watching our channel. If you'd like to see more, please subscribe and leave a comment below.